Hello everybody, Average Gamer here, and welcome to another episode of Let's Look At. In this episode, we're still looking at the PTS, the skill tree server. So, in this episode, I really want to talk about why you should be going on it. Why you should be going in there and testing and looking at things and all that stuff. So, there's a couple of reasons. Number one, you can test until your heart's desire. You get 2 billion C bills, 2 million MC, 2 million GXP, and you can basically do anything you want, any builds that you want, any skill tree build outs that you want, and you can test it until your heart's content. You don't have to worry about making any errors because you have more money than you're going to need. And I mean, and the whole thing is it's completely set up so that you can try everything. It's all trial, meaning that you can do anything you want, try anything you want, and there's no repercussions. I mean, worst case scenario, you run out of MC, C bills, and GXP. I've never had that happen, but you never know, right? Another thing is this account is basically a clone of your actual primary account from a couple days ago. Usually the PTS is, basically actually pretty much every time it's just a clone of your account. Sometimes it's like one patch behind, maybe, or like a couple of weeks behind in regards to, say, mech came out and the mech isn't included in there. But other than that, it's usually quite up to date, rather up to date. And in this case, it's a copy of pretty much the patch that's coming out on the 21st. But yeah, so why should you try it? Well, number one, you can test anything you want. You can try anything you want, try any builds that you want, see how the skills react on it. Try it in the in the Academy Bay. If you got 4 friends, if you got 8, 7 more friends that want to join you, you can do some PvP. Everyone gets automatic premium time, so everyone can do the private matches and test out the builds and try them out and fiddle and fart around with them that way. You can have any mech, any build, any way you want to do it. Yeah, so it's one of those things where you should try it because then you also will figure it out. A lot of these things and a lot of these games, it's all about trial and error, right? I could show you in my 4-hour live stream that I did, or even my 30-minute breakdown video, how it works. But you yourself may not feel comfortable with it when you're there on the screen yourself. This is a good way of kind of giving yourself a crash course or even a crash feel of the thing. See how it feels, see how you react with it, see how it feels, and you'll be able to use it. This way, you don't turn around and screw up one of your mechs and give it stuff that it shouldn't have by accident, or click the wrong spot and buy respec your mech by accident, or remove a bunch of stuff or add a whole bunch of stuff. So yeah, I mean, it's one of those things where you can sit back and really fiddle and fart around and not really have to worry about anything. Because, I mean, the patch is in a week and a half, so, I mean, you get a week and a half to fiddle and fart around with all your different mechs and decide what you want to do with them. One of the things I did was I stripped all my mechs down. Because you can go in the skills tree and the loadout screen and decide with what you can actually give this thing, your mech, if it's worth having a certain weapon on there or not, which I thought was pretty good. I do have a drawback. I mean, this obviously isn't perfect. It's a test, right? I kind of wish there was different little options here and there, but still pretty good. One thing everyone does have a bit of an issue with, and I'll get to that right away. Well, 2 things. Number 1, we're going to go to the mech lab here. We're going to go to skills. But for example, these things here, there's so many different options. I don't have jump jets, so that could just go away. I mean, make that just so it disappears and then bring these in closer. And then these 4 as well. Ballistics and all that stuff. Just get rid of them. So I don't have to see them. So I have less options to pick. I just know it's less. I know they did that for, commonality's sake, so everyone can see that every single one is even. But still, I mean, this is a little overwhelming when you first look at it. I know it's easy that you can click the stuff up here on the left, or sorry, up here on the top, but it could be a bit daunting when you first look at stuff. And being on and going on the PTS now is a good time to kind of sit back and get in there and try it out for yourself and see how it feels for you. Now, one thing I do wish they did for the PTS is give rewards. So if you go on so for the amount of time you spend, well, actually I wouldn't say time because people would just log in and not do anything, but active things. So for every mech that you master, you get some sort of bonus into your account, your overall account, not this one, because this is just a clone. It doesn't affect your overall account itself, which is on the live servers. Basically, it should be, okay, well, you mastered the following mechs. You bought this many nodes. You played in this many matches. You did this, you did that, you played here, you did that. You went into the Academy Bay this many times, blah, blah, blah. And have some sort of rewards built in. Some other games do that because they want the feedback, right? So the more people they can get on there, the more information they can gather. And people like free shit. So if you tell everyone, here's the deal. This weekend, it's the public test server skill tree event. Basically, you install and go on the public test server and spec out a mech. You immediately get, X amount of C-bills and X amount of XP. Enough to say get, 10. An equivalent of, say, for every mech that you master, you get enough money and GXP to, say, spec out a mech. Then for every, say, 5 after that you just get some C-bills or some GXP or something. Have it so that, people are playing around, doing things. Have it even so that if someone despecs a mech, there's rewards for that too. Because the people want to test it, right? So it's one of those things where it's, they get the information from people trying all these different things, and obviously they can set up the guidelines as to what they want tested, and then they set those guidelines up as events. They okay, despec, spec out 10 mechs, and then unspec them. Well, there you go. You get automatic C-bills and XP to allocate to 91 points to whatever mechs you want, basically. So you get the XP and GXP that you can spend on theoretically 91. So you get, so say for every 10 mechs that you fill the fart with, you get 9.1 million C-bills, 136,500 GXP. It's enough to spec out a mech. They will be happy with that. I would not mind that at all. That means I could spec out a mech that I haven't played before or haven't been able to master back in the day. Have it so that, if you get X amount of, nodes that you've unlocked, you get some rewards. I like it. I really enjoy the fact that they can drive people to do what they want to do the tests for. And at the same time, people get rewards for it. You're basically being a guinea pig, and you're getting rewards for it. You always hear those drug trials in the radio saying, hey, are you between the ages of whatever and whatever? Have you ever done the following drugs, or not done the following drugs, or have tried the following drugs, or do the following things and don't do the following things? Then don't we have some money for you type thing? Well, they can do the same thing with the PTS. Like, hey, do you have X amount of, X amount of mechs? Do you want to try to spec them out? Well, guess what? If you spec out X amount of mechs, you get X amount of C-bills / GXP. If you take X amount of mechs, if you play X amount of matches on the PTS, now mind you have to be in groups of 2 or 4, but if you do that, hey, guess what? You get X amount of C-bills and GXP. Or even then, if you go into those matches, you only get C-bills and GXP. No regular XP, just GXP. The GXP will count towards your actual account. And it's accumulative. And then at the end of on the Monday, it rolls over, and boom, you get your GXP and your XP. It's a way for them to get their information, their feedback, and on top of that, honest information. There's nothing more honest than just sheer data. If they see that almost everyone is going one weapon, full spec the weapon, full spec the armor, full spec the mobility, and then kind of throw the rest away, then they can say, okay, so we need to try and figure out some way of separating maybe the weapons a little bit, giving a little give or take, something like that. But anyways, Thanks for watching. In the next video, we're actually going to go over 3 different builds. One of them is actually my Awesome there in the background. We're going to do an Awesome, an Atlas, and a Shadowcat. That have all been requested to me. So thanks for watching. I'll see you guys in the next episode. Bye-bye.